I never really got into Rust. I always thought it was just Minecraft with better graphics, and since my old ass computer could barely handle Minecraft, Rust was off the table for me. But now I'm finally part of a PC master race with a sick gaming rig, a sticky RGB keyboard, and parents who think I'm a disappointment. So this is the perfect time for me to get into Rust. If you're unfamiliar with Rust, this is how it goes. You spawn on a beach with a rock. You start hitting a tree to gather wood. With this wood, you build a spear to defend yourself. After that, you collect more wood. You craft a building plan and a hammer, and after that you collect more wood. Then you start building your base. You run out of wood, so you collect more wood. You build a little cabinet so nobody can build near your bed. You collect more wood. You make a chest so you can store more stuff. You collect more wood. You make friends.
Well, I'm gonna go now, because you're being fucking weird. Bye.
You collect more wood. The trees start talking to you. You collect more wood. They tell you to join them. You collect more wood. You decide to become one with the tree. But in order to do that, you first have to collect more wood. You craft a hatchet so you can collect more wood. With all this wood, you can now collect more wood. More wood. Wood. And once you're done with that, you've got yourself a nice little base. I didn't have this information when I started out, and I went in blind. I chose a server, got started, I hit some trees, died a couple times, started over. Oh, and this happened. I saw this scientist guy and I thought he may have some interesting loot, so I shot him in the face. As I was looting him, this guy came up and he stole my loot. Oh, come on! So obviously I had to get my loot back, so I grabbed a bow and I started chasing this dude. He kept on running away. I tried to land some epic trick shots on him, but that didn't go very well. I had to chase him down like a mad dog, and he nearly got away because of this fucking bear. But eventually, with some zigzagging, I caught up to him and I made him beg for his life. Just kidding, I shot him in the face, but he died begging, which is pretty good. Thank you! Number 12. Eventually, I managed to build myself a little house, in which I thought was a quiet and peaceful neighborhood. It's near a refinery, and there's lots of barrels with scrap around, so I think I'm absolutely set. Turns out all of this material attracts the wrong sort of people. People who come here actually know how to kill people. I did not know how to do this, but that did not stop me from trying. Oh. But the people in the refinery were the least of my troubles. The biggest issue was the crazy Russian clan base right across the road from my house. Why did you move in right next to them if you thought there was a big clan base nearby? Well, I don't fucking know. Maybe because I thought people in Rust would be a bit nicer. I mean, I've got fucking nothing. Why shoot me, right? Anyways, I learned the hard way that Rust players aren't, well, nice. And I was at risk of getting my house burned down by these Russians. I mean, these people already had helicopters and guns, while I was still in the Ooga Booga Stone Age. My house is still 90% wood, and I can't just sit around and wait until one of them throws a Molotov cocktail through my window. There's really high crime rates in this area. Oh, and of course, with my luck, my first house was located in an area with, how can I say, a lot of brown inhabitants. They're inevitably driving down the property value of my house. I'm of course talking about bears. I hate it here. There's a fucking bear in front of my house. I can't even get in. So in order for me to move to a quieter neighborhood, I would first need to find a quieter neighborhood. I had no idea where this is, but luckily for me, earlier on this Rust day, I met a guy. He was kinda nice, and later in chat he offered to help me move to a quieter neighborhood. He couldn't say the location in chat because, well, people in Rust are dicks. If you give away the coordinates of your house, you basically dox yourself and are open for a swatting.
FBI, open up!
He happened to know where I lived from meeting earlier, so he told me he would stop by. We met up, he came to my house in the middle of the night, made sure nobody was around, and he gave me a note, like we were secret agents on a top secret mission. Or just drug dealers. And then, to secure the safety and the secrecy of our meeting, so that nobody would ever see him leave my house and there were no ties between us, he killed himself in my house, to respawn at its own. He asked me to destroy the note, very dramatically, but instead I changed the note to a message for these lovely Russians in my neighborhood. Could you open up, please? As I was delivering this message, the brown inhabitants that make this area so much unsafer, they said their final goodbye. And that was it. Then I moved. The first night in my new house was a bit uneasy. At one point I had to turn off the furnace in order to stay hidden from an airplane in the distance, which made me feel like I was in World War II with German bomber planes flying over, having to block out the light. But with that behind me, I finally lived in a nicer place in Rust, and everything was well. Until I logged in the next morning because, get this, the server wiped. The day after I played all day, the server wiped. So if I can give new Rust players one hint, it's to check when the server you are investing hours of hard work in is wiping, because you will lose all your shit. If you want to watch the next video in which I wake up on wipe day, you should subscribe if you haven't already. And that was it. That was the video. Thank you for watching.